when you get really wrapped up in the day-to-day, you kind of miss what's going on around you.
It's a shower curtain from Target that I just cut up. It's nice to be able to settle in one spot for a while.
I use this monitor for my office work. Hey everyone, I'm Sahil.
And I'm Maggie, and this is Stella.
And welcome to Op of the Bus. Come on along and we'll show you inside.
So this is our kitchen area. This countertop is an old workbench that my dad had in his garage that he found. I ended up refinishing it with some polyurethane. And then we got the double sink here, regular faucet and a water filter. Underneath the sink we have about 10 gallons of gray water. Over here we just have these cabinets. They were built by my grandpa. He ended up taking them with him when he left his old house. So I snagged them from the garage and we put them in here. And then over here we have our toilet area. It rolls out. It is a composting toilet. I'm very happy with the composting toilet. There's no smell. We use wood chip pet bedding as our filler in the composting for the solids. So it works really well for us. It is a DIY toilet too. It's not a nature set or anything. This shelf, we also have them on the other side, but we had to do a custom angle to make them flat because of the shuttle bus always kind of tilts in a little bit at the top. And then these are just stained pieces of wood. Just got some dishes storage up here, and then some other various spices and seasonings on the top over here. This basket back here holds all of our internet stuff and all of our chargers, cords, anything that we need like that. We just have a modem and router that is hooked up to a cell service internet, and then we use the WeBoost. It's mounted up on the back, and then this is like our switch panel for all of our lights and how we keep track of where our battery percentage is at. So these curtains are Reflectix, and they're just covered with a fabric. It's a shower curtain from Target that I just cut up, but yeah, we sewed these all by hand and made these little straps as well, custom to every window, but they just roll up and down. It provides a really good blackout, and it keeps a lot of the heat out as well, and keeps the cold out too, but it really keeps the sun out of the windows. But yeah, they're pretty easy just to roll right back up. And then we just clip them like this.
So this is kind of our main electrical hub. As Maggie was saying, you know, this is our internet stuff. And right here is our Victron Connect battery monitor, which are really, really nice because you can connect it to Bluetooth and track your usage and stuff like that through the app. But yeah, we have a switch panel, and then down here is our electrical cabinet. And so down here we have a 750 watt pure sine wave inverter from Ames Power. And then we're also running 400 amp hours of sealed lead acid batteries. But yeah, that's kept us going. And with the 400 watts of solar that we have on the roof, and we have a Renogy DC-DC 50 amp charge controller with MPPT, we're able to stay powered and on the go. In terms of kind of really making the transition from living in an apartment and, you know, kind of living in a traditional house to moving into something that's less than 100 square foot, we really had to cut down on a lot of our personal effects and really kind of pick and choose, you know, what really mattered to us.
Like what we were going to keep in storage or things like that. But it was really nice to be able to like go through things and like kind of be like, does this add value to me, yes or no? And then if it was like something super nostalgic from my childhood, obviously I would keep it. But just like, and like what clothes do you actually wear, like what items do you actually use, and also it made us kind of care for the items that we do bring with us. We care for them a lot more.
Yeah, it really helps you appreciate what you already have instead of wanting more. Living in the bus, we've really been able to kind of cut down on spending money on things we don't really need because we don't have space for it. I mean, we'll go to the store, we'll go to the store and I'm like, ooh, I want this. And Maggie looks at me, she's like, Sahil, we don't have space.
We don't have space. And also, like when I was living at home, if I saw like a piece of clothing that I wanted or a new decoration that I wanted, I would always, I'd be like, oh yeah, like I can afford it, it's fine. So I could get it. But in here, you have to think about storage, you need to think about space, and also like if I see something glass that is like, it might be beautiful, but it might not last very long in the bus with all the traveling. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you think about it a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and what's worth it too. Yeah.
So this is our dinette booth, and this is actually version 2 of kind of our lounging couch area. Before this, it was just a standard little kind of L couch and used an old terrible futon cushion. So we realized that didn't really work for us, and so we wanted to do something a little bit more useful with the space. And so we turned this into a dinette booth that has really allowed us to, be more accessible inside the bus. These bottom pieces actually slide out, so we can access our storage underneath. And then both sides slide out and the table drops down, and we're actually able to have a full-size guest bed. So we have additional cushions underneath that we use, and yeah, just host people whenever we want. Same thing as we have back here. We kind of had to do some custom angles on the shelves here to make it flat because of the curve of the bus, but this is really where we keep our toiletries and just kind of miscellaneous items. We got the Buslife Kitchen cookbook, which is pretty sweet. We just got some miscellaneous items up here, binoculars and broom to keep it clean. And then, yeah, back over here, we actually have a jump seat that we pulled out of a 1980s van from the junkyard. The reason we picked this one is because it's comfortable, so you got the captain's chair action on it, but it also swivels all the way around. And it has a seat belt. And so whoever's not driving, be it myself or Maggie, the passenger is sitting here. So we have a seat belt that's mounted to the frame. And then during the day, I swivel this chair all the way around, and I use this monitor for my office work. And then at night, whenever we're, trying to get some privacy, or we're parked in a place where we just need to kind of keep it cooler in here, we have these metal rails that we put on the ceiling, and we actually hang blackout curtains from both sides right here, and we use these little magnetic hooks to keep them up. And so it really helps with kind of keeping it cooler in here and just kind of retaining that privacy.
So back here we have a king size bed. It is a very large bed for a lot of people in bus life or whatnot. Oh, go ahead, Stella, you're fine. But we really love the comfort, and we already had the mattress, so we made it fit, and luckily it fit between the shuttle bus walls. Back up here we have the AC unit that came with the shuttle bus. We did just paint the cover on it, but we can run it when the bus is running, and it works to like quickly cool down. We'll run it for like 10-20 minutes if it's really hot outside. And it does keep it a lot cooler in here, so it's pretty nice to have still. In addition to the air conditioner, we also kept the heater that originally came with the shuttle bus. So we can only run that when the bus is running, but it all again does really help if we run it just for a few minutes to heat up the space. Down here we have a 75, I think it's a 75 quart or 75 liter Dometic fridge. It's a fridge freezer. Well, we can do both, but we choose to make it a whole fridge because we just get more use out of it that way. And then over here, this wall, it is our closet, I guess. It slides out on some drawer slides, and then we just have these organizers in here. And it just slides back in, and it's just secured with a little baby clip.
This is our captain's area, our driver's area. Not many modifications that we did up here. One of the main things that we did add was a reverse camera. Because this bus is 25 foot long from front to back, and we can't see out of the back because of the bed, we definitely want to make sure that we can, see what's behind us when we're backing up, but also use it as a rear view mirror, so to speak. But up in the front here, a lot of shuttle buses usually do storage up here. Unfortunately, our bus stops really short right here, so we didn't have room for storage, and so we just kind of had to build the cover and just fill it with some space here. So we got a walking stick that I made a long time ago when I was younger, and now we're using it to drape some vines, and kind of use some plant holders here, and just kind of liven up the space a little bit. But in terms of driving this thing, it's really not that bad. It drives just like a regular van. It corners well, handles well, and it'll get you going at 75 miles an hour. In terms of the overall cost for the bus, not including the price of the tracker, because that was something that we bought after we had our first kind of 6-month stint out on the road. Mm-hmm. The overall cost of the bus, all the materials and everything in it was just about $17,000, mm-hmm. Which, the way we look at it is we have a house for $17,000 and we're debt and mortgage free in that. Very fortunate to be that way. So we kept the cost low by really trying to reuse materials and really try to just take advantage of what we could reuse and repurpose.
Like my grandpa's cabinets or that slab of wood for the countertop, like all of that was all free. So it definitely brought down the cost of the lumber and things like that.
The sink was $30 from a Habitat for Humanity.
The bus itself was $6,000. The person who sold it to us also gave us a few items too.
Yeah, the person who sold it to us, his name's Will, great guy, and he was selling the bus and gave me a lot of parts towards the build that were included. So we got our water tank, fans, inverter, outdoor shower.
He was very kind.
Bunch of stuff that he really helped us out with on that.
So in terms of keeping this lifestyle going for us, we both work remotely. I work in design remotely and Sahil works in automotive. And we have just been really lucky that our companies, when some people started going back to the office, we were able to stay remote. So we're really thankful that we were able to continue saving money and working for our companies. So, yeah.
Under our king size bed, we do obviously have a lot of space, and so we wanted to make the best use of it. And so inside here we have our 55 gallons of fresh water, and on the other side of the bus is the fill up for that. And then down here we also have our batteries, which I mentioned earlier, just some tools, a table, and a ladder so we can get up onto the roof.
And then on the roof, we have 400 watts of solar mounted up there. They're the flexible panels. We use VHB tape and boat tape to secure them to the roof. And then for the paint job, we ended up using Behr Marquee exterior paint, which it's only been painted for 6 months at this point, but it's held up pretty nice against some branches and stuff, so we're happy with the way that it's turned out so far.
One of the biggest things about shuttle buses is there's a lot of leaking issues, and so when I bought this bus, this whole door frame was leaking, and so that caused the floor to rot out, and this entire wall right here was full of water. And so when we were going through the build process, first we start off by actually ripping out the entire frame and resealing it and putting in new wood strips on the inside, and had to redo the entire floor on this side of the bus. And then we were about halfway through the build and we ended up trying to drill into this wall to put our wall panels up, and water came shooting back out at us. So we had to tear off the entire inner layer of this wall, drain out all the water, let it dry, spray out some bleach to prevent mold, and rebuild some structure in there, and then we could keep building. So yeah, that's a shuttle bus. So this is our 1991 Geo Tracker. This is what we tow behind the bus, and it's been great for us, you know, because we're able to park the bus and use this to go get groceries or go, you know, drive to a trailhead, and we don't have to worry about parking this in big vehicle. So this really opened up a lot of opportunity to be able to explore places that we're at when we can't find parking for something as big as the bus. But with the bus being called Appa from Avatar: The Last Airbender, fittingly this is Momo. So Momo being the little lemur that hangs out with Appa, the big flying bison. Say hi to Momo. If you're thinking about doing any sort of build, first of all, just do it. Like, just send it. Just go do it. But also, too, don't get too wrapped up with what your build is. I would say the focus is more on yourself being out there and being able to experience all these different things, and not necessarily focusing on, you know, how pretty or perfect it is. I mean,
yeah, it's more about like the lifestyle. You can prioritize whatever you want in your build, and it can look any way that you want, that is feasible for you. And I think when we were building, we got kind of caught up in like all of these super beautiful builds, so we were being really hard on ourselves, and in the end it didn't matter. Like, all of the little mistakes that we always see, they don't matter at all, and we still get to enjoy this lifestyle the same as anybody else who's living on the road. So yeah, I think just really try to enjoy the build process, because it is really fun.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching. If you want to follow along, our name is Appa_the bus on Instagram, and we'll see you on the road.